Let's talk about the money and talk to Vicky Pryce, the distinguished international economist and business consultant. Vicky, good to see you. Well, let's talk about the scores on the doors. 7 years on from the Brexit vote. I mean, how is the UK economy doing? How's it looking?
It's really interesting, of course, because we've had COVID and, of course, we've also had the issues from the war in Ukraine, which have complicated things a little bit. But nevertheless, there have been quite a lot of calculations on how other countries that were very similar to us and certainly were growing at a certain pace before the Brexit vote, how they have done despite COVID, despite the energy crisis that we've had. And the findings are, I'm afraid, that they've all done considerably better than we have done, particularly on the trading front. And that was mentioned a little bit earlier from your correspondent. And the interesting thing is that as a nation, the UK now trades less as a percentage of its GDP. And the analysis that has been done by the likes of the Centre for European Reform, for example, is that we have probably lost some 5% of our GDP since the Brexit vote. And that's a real issue, because if you're looking at the problems we're having now, how do you recover from COVID? How do you recover from the energy crisis? What you need is considerable growth. And that growth, I think, is eluding us right now.
How challenging has it been for the United Kingdom to re-establish trade relations and systems with Europe following Brexit? And how better off, if we can quantify that particular European dynamic, is the UK now?
Well, it's been quite difficult. The agreement that was reached still left loads of things to be resolved later, including how you deal with services, particularly the financial services, how you deal with ensuring that despite the abolition, if you like, of the freedom for movement, people can still move around and do proper business, and how to bring in workers that you really need in a number of sectors. And one of the things that we're seeing now in the UK is there's a big shortage in areas where EU workers were dominant, if you like, or such as the hospitality sector, retail, tourism, entertainment, for example. And that's one of the reasons why we're seeing such high cost pressure in the UK and also high inflation. Trying to re-establish some better trading agreements. There have been attempts, and I think we're moving towards doing so. Remember the Northern Ireland Protocol, which more or less left the Northern Ireland as part of the EU, but with restrictions in terms of the way in which they could do business with the rest of the United Kingdom. That has now been amended. It's more friendly. It's the Windsor Agreement, as it's called now, which is allowing perhaps for greater freedom of movement of goods between Great Britain and Northern Ireland. That also has led to a bit of a rapprochement with Europe. There is a lot to work on. I'm afraid it's been very, very slow for many sectors. And because we're all going to be completely stuck in pre-election period over the next year, we may not see as much progress as perhaps we should do.
Vicky, good to see you. Thank you very much indeed for coming on the programme. Vicky Pryce, the economist and business consultant.
Thank you.